If you can hear me above the roosters, I'll try to explain what this little video is going to be about. Back when I first got Angel, over 3 months ago now, I ran out and purchased a $300 dog kennel, one of those cage things made out of galvanized steel fencing, whatever, with a steel frame. I only had Angel for a few days when I realized I would never put that together and put Angel in it. She's far too well behaved, and I thought that perhaps when I go away and leave her for a few hours, whatever, I would put her in that, but she stresses out enough if I leave her in the house. Anyway, cage is not going to be used for the dog, and as I say, I paid $300 for the thing. So this summer, trying to think of another use of it, I came up with the idea of putting it up as a cage to grow corn in. I cannot grow corn here. There's so many raccoons, I never get a single ear of corn. They check every night, I think. Whenever one's ready, they rip it open and take a bite or two out of it, or eat the whole thing, but they destroy almost every ear. So I will put it up this fall, and in the spring I'll put fencing across the top of it. I've got several pieces of leftover fencing. I won't do that this fall. If I didn't cover it over on top, coons would just climb up it and go inside anyway. They can climb almost anywhere. So that's what I'm about to do. There's a couple of short time-lapse clips, one showing me preparing the area here and emptying out the containers that have been in the hoop house all summer, and the other one of setting it up, putting it together, except for putting the fencing on it. I think I've already said in a clip that follows here that I won't be putting the fencing on the sides of it until I have cleaned out the chicken coops, because I want to put several wheelbarrow loads of the dressing and manure out of the chicken coops on top of this bed to compost over the winter and whatever. And the doorway that goes into the kennel when it's the cage thing, when it's finished, is only 1.5 feet wide, so you can't get a wheelbarrow in there. So I'll put the fencing on last, and very last, to finish this video up, I'm going to set the GoPro up in the pen, the cage, the coop, whatever, with my quail that are all full grown now and laying eggs. I thought you might like to see them now that they've got their full plumage. So that is what's going to happen. Stay tuned. This is the same area where I grew the squash, the overgrown squash plant patch. I removed all the old plants and whatever, they were basically finished for the season. What I'm doing here is measuring it off, trying to set it up as being roughly 5 foot wide, 10 feet long, because that's what the thing is going to be. And then I go in and start dragging out all of those containers that I grew things in the hoop house, one at a time, emptying those. When I got it all put together, I had just enough soil. Angel watching me there. Actually, when I get the thing up later on in the video here, there's some soil needed on one of the ends, but there's a lot of extra soil along the sides, so I can handle that quite quickly with a shovel. There's the parts of my very expensive corn cage laid out. And I have sort of spread the soil, bags of soil, containers of soil, all that good stuff, plus the soil that was already here that I grew the squash in this summer, into a rough shape that's 5 by 10, 5 foot wide by 10 foot long, which is what the finished kennel was meant to look like. I don't want to say that too loud because Angel is right here, and I don't want her to think that I'm building her a kennel. $300 corn cage is what I'm building. This gives you some idea. I guess that's not a very good picture, but that's a sketch of what the finished product would look like, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. It's just a simple chain link steel fence with steel posts and whatever, a framework to put the fencing on. That strange looking crinkly thing over there is the fencing all rolled up, and the others are just the various pieces and parts. I'm finished for today. I'm going to take Angel for her walk now, but tomorrow I'll work on this soil some more, getting it leveled up, and then I'll put the frame together and put that on top of it. I don't think I'll put the fencing on just yet. The door is over there laying down too, to the far left in the background. You just see the door frame there. Angel's blocking the way now, but anyway, the door is there. It's only 18 inches wide, and I want to cover this with a layer of manure and dressing out of the chicken coops when I do the fall clean out, and let that compost over the winter and whatever, and make a good growing area for my corn next year, hopefully. So I think all I will do at this point is put the frame together, and I'll put the fencing on it once I've got the manure spread, whatever, inside of it. Anyway, tomorrow I'll show you what I get done tomorrow. Like most of these things, when you finally settle down to do it, it isn't quite as difficult as you thought it would be. I was wondering how hard it would be for one person to get all these pieces together, but the instructions, if you follow them carefully enough, it made it relatively easy. I even managed to get it fairly level, and all of the posts are quite straight, level. Quite pleased with that. Angel really enjoyed herself watching me. She stands guard over me all the time. This particular segment must have taken, I don't know, more than 10 minutes in real time. She just laid there and watched me. Once again, the hens start to cackle just as soon as I turn the camera on. Well, that's the frame up, and the door, or gate, whatever you want to call it, installed. It actually opens and closes. I hope there was enough time-lapse there that you saw that happen. I'm sure the time-lapse also has made the frame look like it's bent or warped, because I was using a very wide angle. Well, it isn't. It's quite straight and relatively level. It's difficult to get it completely level until you put the fencing on it, because that holds it together better. Most of the joints, all of the joints where the pipes go together, there's no bolt or anything. They just go together friction fit. And so when you put the skin of the fencing on it and stretch it tight, that will hold it together. But I think I'm going to like that. I can hardly wait to see corn growing in it. I'll show you what it looks like later in the fall when I get the manure that I want to put in and get the fencing on the outside of it before winter. I won't put the top fencing on until next summer sometime, when I have to start worrying about coons. If I put it on this winter, it'd just be someplace else for snow to accumulate on top of. Probably something I'll have to take off every winter, or the weight of the snow will tear it down. So let's go look at some quail and finish this video.